Hi guys, so today I am filming a really fun video. It's actually my first ever reading vlog, which is really exciting. This video may be a bit of a mess and I really apologize if it is. I'm going to be reading popular fantasy books. I read mostly fantasy, however there's still some like very popular books I am still yet to read. I thought I would do a reading vlog so you guys can get my first impressions of them. I'm going to read 3 books I think in this video. Let me just get started and show you the books that I've decided to read. The first book is probably the most popular fantasy book like right now. Everyone has read it and I am scared to read it, and that is ACOTAR. Of course it's ACOTAR by Sarah J Maas. First of all, I'll say this every time I talk about a Sarah J Maas book, I don't support Sarah J Maas. This book was purchased secondhand. I purchased like majority of my books from her secondhand. I don't support her as an author. I have read Friend of Glass by her and I do really enjoy that series. It's probably like a 4.5 star series for me. I still have not read her most popular series, which is obviously ACOTAR. I've been meaning to read this book for so long. Like I've owned this book for like over a year now, but I just keep putting it off because I just don't think I'm going to enjoy this series. So you might be like, why are you reading it? And to that I say because I have FOMO. In case if you don't know what the series is about, you have our main character Vera, and I think she like kills a wolf she's not supposed to, and then she gets like kidnapped by like this high fae lord or something. Reasons I think I'm not gonna like this book: first of all, that all apart from like the last 2 from Vera's POV, and from what I've seen from Vera and from what I've heard about her, I don't think I'm going to like her as a character, but I'll be proven wrong. Also, I know like the entirety of the plot for this first book anyway. Like I know we're not supposed to like a certain character, and I know there's like a riddle or something. Like I just know what happens, and I don't even think I've seen any like direct spoilers for this book. I can just like piece it together. But maybe I'll be proved wrong because I do really enjoy Friend of Glass, so maybe Sarah J Maas will prove me wrong. The next book I have to read is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Now I think this is more of a dystopian than a fantasy, but I'm just gonna read it in this vlog anyway. I feel like this is not as popular now as it used to be, but I still really want to read it. The plot of this book is the world is like got a class system based on the colour of your blood, and the silver-blooded people are like the elite and then the red-blooded people are like normal. But the silver-blooded people have like these superpowers. With our main character Mare, she is like red-blooded and she has a superpower. So she gets like taken, I think, by like the silver-blooded people. And I think she's like gonna try and take down the government or something. It sounds really fun, but again, I've not seen any like direct spoilers, but from what I've seen on like TikTok and stuff, I've kind of gathered that we are gonna get betrayed by a certain character. But nonetheless, I think this will still be really fun. I have read Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard and I did not really like it, to be honest. But I feel like that's a completely different book to this one. And the last book, and the one I am most excited for that I will be reading in this video, is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I am so fucking excited for this, guys. Again, I have read a Cassandra Clare book. I've read the first 3 Mortal Instruments. And now it's time for me to start the Infernal Devices, and I can't wait. I feel like this is everyone's favourite, this or The Last Hours, and I just can't wait, and I'm ready to have my heart torn out of my chest by this series, honestly. I realised that I like know nothing about the plot of this series. I think our main character is a downworlder. How do you explain like the Shadowhunters to someone who's never like read or knows what the Shadowhunters are about? But the Shadowhunters are like humans, but they're like these like advanced humans, I guess, and they basically like kill demons, and that's what these like books obviously mainly focus on, the Shadowhunters. However, I think the main character in this is a downworlder, and downworlders are like half demons, half human, so I think that's going to be very interesting. In terms of which book I'm going to start with, I think I'm definitely going to start with ACOTAR. I'm not gonna lie, I am like terrified to start this book. I guess I'm just gonna get started reading this. so it's now like a week later since I first started filming. I'm wearing the same hoodie, it's just like significantly more stained now. Please ignore that. I'm now like halfway through ACOTAR. I'm on page 230 out of like 400, so just over halfway. My thoughts on it so far is that it's like just incredibly average. I will say I was expecting to hate this and I'm really not hating it. It's just a bit like there's nothing special about it to me. I will say Farah is a main character I'm enjoying a lot more than I thought I would. Everything else about the book is just a bit meh. I enjoyed like the first like 50 pages, the world building before the Fae were introduced, but like once the Fae were introduced I just found it a bit like boring. And I love Fae books, and also I feel like because I know we're not supposed to like a certain character, I feel like that is also like impacting my experience with the book. I'm trying not to give spoilers, but obviously this book is just Farah and this character building a relationship, kind of. So obviously because I know we're not supposed to like them, I'm kind of just not getting invested in it as I feel like I should. Maybe if this book was not so hyped up, I would have different feelings towards it. Maybe I would enjoy it a bit more, but it's just like, I have no other word for it other than like average. While I do love her relationships, I don't like the very like animalistic nature. Like there's so much like growling and like possessiveness. It's just not my thing. Also, Tamlin is just a bit like, some things he does, I'm just a bit like, are you for real right now? This man for real plays a fiddle. Why a fiddle? Out of all the instruments you could have picked, you chose a fiddle, and his poetry as well. Hello? You see, that is the noise I will be imagining Sarah J Maas Meals making when she says they're growling. This is Tamlin's poetry, right? There once was a lady most beautiful, spirited if a little unusual, her friends were few, but held a mended queue, but to all she gave a refusal. I'm sorry, if a man wrote poetry like that about me, I would run the other direction. It's just a bit... Maybe it'll get better once we meet like the characters like that we're supposed to like. I will say I am really liking Lucian as character. I'll probably finish this though, and then I'll get back on my thoughts. First off, please just ignore my appearance. My hair is wet, I have no makeup on. I also am still wearing the same hoodie, and it's a different day, but just ignore it. Also, the lighting in here is really not the best, but I wanted to film in front of my shelves. But the thing is, my bottom shelves are like the least filled, so it looks kind of bad. Like my top shelves, you can see are a lot more filled. But I did finish ACOTAR. I have thoughts and most of them are bad, to be honest. I'll start off positive with the things I liked about this book. I liked, in terms of characters, I did enjoy Farah as the main character. I mean, she was a bit bland at times, but for the most part she was a fun character to have as a POV slash like main character. I liked Lucian, I thought he was a fun character. I also, controversial, I liked Nesta's character. If you hear noises, it's my guinea pigs. Just ignore them. I did also enjoy the first like 50 to 100 pages, and that's about it. In terms of things I didn't particularly enjoy, the rest of the characters, bearing in mind there was not that many. Love interests, Tamlin was bland and boring. No. Reese was horrible to Farah, like he did some awful things to her. Because of that, I was not particularly invested in any of the two romances Sarah J Maas was setting up. The whole reasoning behind a lot of Farah's actions in this book is because of her love for one of the characters, but because I wasn't invested in the romance, or like I guess the love, I was not really invested in the plotline. Obviously as well, it's Sarah J Maas, there is incredible lack of diversity. That was to be expected unfortunately with Sarah J Maas books. On top of that, the plot I just thought was a bit bland, if you will. Like, it was nothing special and nothing like groundbreaking that I hadn't read before. So I did give this book a 2.5 stars, which It's unfortunate because like I wanted to like this, it just was not a book for me. Also, on top of another like thing I disliked about it was this classic Sarah J Maas way of writing her romances, in which she makes them very like animalistic, which is just not a thing I like in my romances. Like she just includes a lot of like growling and purring in her smut scenes, which it's not something I particularly look for. Just not for me. However, I will be continuing on with the series because I've heard they get a lot better the further you go on. So I will give it a chance. As you can see, I own almost all the books. I just don't own the second one because I am buying them secondhand. I'm yet to find the second one like in my secondhand bookstores. I'm not gonna like go out of my way to buy it like online or anything. If I see it in like a charity shop, I'll buy it. And then I'll continue on with the series. It's really not a priority of mine right now. I did read it though. Okay, so as you would have seen, I have started Clockwork Angel and I have actually finished it now. I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 4.5 stars. It was very fun, but it just didn't quite have that like 5-star feeling. I feel like when I enjoy books, I don't really know what to like say about them as much as I do when I have like negative things to say about books. I feel like one complaint I did have is the characterization of Will. He very much felt like a carbon copy of Jace from the Mortal Instruments, and while that was probably done intentionally by Cassandra Clare, it still kind of made me feel a bit like, I feel like her characters were very similar to the characters she's done before. My favorite character was definitely Jem. I love him. He's definitely like one of my new book boyfriends. And also like Tessa as a main character, she was not as like annoying as like Clary was in the Mortal Instruments, but she's still like, she's not like my new favorite main character or anything. She didn't really give anything like special, but she was also like a fun time. Like I'm not like complaining about having her as her main character. I also thought like the plot and stuff was entertaining, but I feel like Cassandra Clare, she mainly like shines with her characters and relationships, but I still really enjoyed the plot and had a fun time with it. I thought like the setting of like Victorian London was really fun. While some things were probably not historically accurate, which does, as a history girl, annoy me, but I mean, what can you do? I just thought it was a fun time. I am really excited to continue on this series. I kind of just want to go straight into the second one, but I'm like, no, I can't. I need to like savor this series because I heard they just get better. I feel like this was a really short like review on this book compared to ACOTAR, where I feel like I just ranted for like 10 minutes about my problems with it. But I don't know how to talk about books I enjoyed other than just saying like they were great, the plot was fun, I liked the characters. In terms of the romance, I will say there wasn't much romance. It's supposed to be a love triangle, and I think I know who she ends up with because I've seen spoilers and stuff, but it didn't really feel like much of a triangle. Like she kind of, I felt like only had romantic scenes with one of the people she was supposed to be in the love triangle with. I don't know, maybe we'll get more in the second book. Next time you see me, I'll probably be reading Red Queen, but I'll see you in a bit. So a couple things. First of all, ignore the lighting. I know it's really bad, but unfortunately I do live in England where it is cloudy about 90% of the time, and I need to film this now, so I'm sorry. And also my hair is wet just ignore it. But as you would have seen, I did start Red Queen and I have actually finished it. I gave this a 3.25 stars. Yes, I am one of those annoying people who gives 0.25 and 0.75 stars. While it was like a fun time and I did enjoy my time reading it, and I liked our main character and the romances that were getting set up, at the end of the day, since I did kind of know the ending of the book going in, I couldn't really enjoy it as much as I could because the big like plot twist, I already knew what it was going to be. So I feel like that definitely impacted my enjoyment of it, unfortunately. However, I am very excited to read the other books in the series because I don't really know what happens in those. So hopefully they will be a fun time. And also it is just your classic like dystopian YA fantasy plot where you just have your main character who is like overthrowing the government. And while that is a fun plot, I have seen it about 1,000,000 times before, and at this point I am just getting a bit tired of it, I'm not gonna lie. And while that is a fun plotline, it's just hard to be original, and I felt this was just not original. I mean, if I'd read it close to the time it came out, maybe it would have been a bit more revolutionary, but at this day and age, it just was not. I will be continuing on with the series because I'm very excited to see where it goes, and I did like the romance she was setting up. I know that's potentially a controversial opinion because I feel like most people prefer like the other romance, but since I kind of knew a spoiler of what the person in that other romance she was setting up was going to be like, I just did not find myself getting invested. I'm trying to talk about this while being as vague as possible, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like I'm doing a good job. Nonetheless, it was a very fun time. I feel like I barely talked about this book compared to the other books, particularly ACOTAR, but I don't really have much to say on it. Obviously, I have read all the books. I'll do a quick wrap up on all of them, I guess. So we have ACOTAR, which I did give a 2.5 stars. Controversial, I know. It just was not my favourite, and I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy the other books in the series, but I will be reading them because I already own them all, unfortunately. Then I picked up Clockwork Angel, which I adored. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I can very much see some of the later books in this series becoming 5 stars for me. I'm actually about to pick up Clockwork Prince, which is exciting, and I'm just so excited to continue on this series, and this was very good. It's definitely worth all the hype it gets, in my opinion. And then I read Red Queen and I gave it a 3.25 stars because while it was a fun time, it just was not anything inherently special and amazing. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If any of you guys have read these books, please tell me your opinions on them. If you want to see any thoughts on the other books in this series, maybe stick around and subscribe. I'm sure I'll talk about them in wrap-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you had a good time. I don't know how good this video was because it was my first reading vlog, so it might have been a bit of a mess, and I apologize if it was, but thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a good time. Have a great day. Bye.